Today, our special guest on the Seacoast Sports Forum, Scott Bleakley and Hunter Carey. Now, Scott was with us last year promoting a special event. He had Three States Unite. And first off, welcome to both of you gentlemen. And Scott, tell us what's on the agenda for this year for the events.
Yeah, well, as a follow-up from last year's success, we did the Three States Unite to Fight for the Peter Frates Family Foundation battle against ALS. And the success of that sort of inspired me to look at another fundraiser for another important cause, which I'm actually in the mental health field. I'm a mental health therapist and figured just with everything going on with COVID and pre-COVID and, you know, mental health, it's always been an important issue and topic. But right now it's pretty pivotal time to pay attention to it and heighten awareness, raise some funds. So yeah, we're doing it around, it's themed Three States Unite to Fight for mental health and substance abuse awareness. And I guess having both of us on, I'm probably more the mental health, person, and then Hunter represents an agency around the substance abuse.
Scott and I actually connected through work a few months ago. I work for a nonprofit organization called The Phoenix. We provide a sober, active community to folks largely in recovery from substance use disorder. So all our events are free. We just ask folks that attend to have 48 hours of sobriety. That's kind of the cost to get into an event, whether it's CrossFit, yoga, baseball, surfing, whatever it is we're doing. But Scott and I got connected. We had some Phoenix programming at Seacoast Youth Services. And he let me know about the fundraiser he did last year and wanting to do it again and build on the success that they had last year. So we kind of teamed up for this year. And like Scott mentioned, we're going to be doing it again at Hadlock Field in Portland. And then we'll also be doing one in Manchester this year at a location to be determined.
So Scott, last year at Hadlock, a successful event. Let's talk about what's planned for this year and the dates and some of the folks that will be there helping you out.
Yeah, so the Hadlock date, it's fast approaching. It's July 22nd, and the event's going to be from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And it was actually Hunter that came up with a great idea. You know, what we did last year was just 2 traditional baseball games, a doubleheader. We're still going to have a game, but we're actually going to open the event with, or I think what we're calling a skills challenge that's going to include a home run derby, which everybody loves. And there'll be like a velocity contest, speed competition. But Hunter came up with that great idea. I think that's going to attract some people and involve some people too, actually, maybe as a, even a source of, giving, having some people give a donation and then get to play on a really nice field and try to hit one over the wall. Because Hadlock is sort of, set up like a mini Fenway.
A fantasy of all of us to get one over the fence.
Yeah. And the other exciting part, I'm fortunate where, Northeast Tides, we're playing the North Shore Baseball League, just connected to a lot of baseball people. And I think the other idea was, there are teams that we could reach out to and play, but I thought, like, are there enough guys, like maybe some former or unsigned, Major League Baseball players, guys that have played at the independent league level that might be interested in participating in something like this, knowing it is a fundraiser. So what felt a little ambitious at first, has sort of evolved. And so we're going to be playing a team called the Ball Crusaders. It's a
cool.
Unified group of those players I mentioned. And it's looking like a go. And there's some names that may be familiar. Chris Colabello, who played in the major leagues for the Minnesota Twins and probably more known for his stint with the Toronto Blue Jays. I met with Chris a couple months ago, and he's on board. There's a few other players, Austin Dakar, who's third round draft pick by the New York Yankees back in 2014. He had a lot of arm injuries. Unfortunately, he never made it to the show, but he's going to participate. And there's a few other names, but it's pretty exciting. That should be a draw, I think, for getting people in. So again, good baseball.
fun night of baseball. That's all that matters. Hunter, you look like a ball player. What position would you play?
I played right field when I was at UMass Amherst, and then I transferred and went to Brown and got moved to first base. So did a little bit of infield and outfield.
There you go. There you go. So a good stick man?
By design, I'm supposed to be, but I had aspirations through my career that I'd never quite reached. But yeah,
Give it
I
a
was going to
shot.
say, and it's funny you're asking Sherm, because when Hunter and I first partnered, the other idea of this was, I can recruit Hunter for the Northeast Tides, and that was the plan. But he was playing some pickup basketball, I think, and I don't know if you want that on camera, but yeah,
it's true. I broke my foot playing basketball.
Yeah.
And fair warning for any high school ball players and college players that don't want to listen to their coach telling them not to play pickup basketball. It does happen.
Yeah. So Hunter's technically on the Northeast Tides roster, just under the asterisk of injured reserve at this point. So,
The
yeah,
IR.
maybe 2000.
Sam, you had some questions for the guys?
Hunter, I wanted to ask you, you went to PEA, so you certainly know the Exeter area very well. Are you a local person? Are you a Rockingham County type person?
Yes, I'm originally from Northampton, New Hampshire. And Scott and I are actually taking the call from the new Northampton Public Library. So I grew up here on the Seacoast, had a few years in Boston after college, but came back fairly quickly.
And as program manager for the Phoenix, tell me a little bit about that.
So we are a national nonprofit. We were founded in 2006. Again, I alluded to earlier, we do sober, active community events. So that's nationwide to date. We just passed about 100,000 members, Phoenix members around the country just within the last month. My role, I'm responsible for the state of New Hampshire. So I've been full-time with the Phoenix after volunteering for a few years in growing out our program offerings throughout the state so that we can be accessible to as many people as possible. So we've had programs through the Seacoast, Manchester, Concord, Nashua. We were up in Lebanon a few weeks ago putting on a skateboarding event. So it's taken us all over the place, but my role is really anything Phoenix in New Hampshire.
Great.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you or the program to find out more about how they could get involved?
Easiest way would probably be thephoenix.org. That's the national website, but it will give you, if you go to find a class, you can punch in your zip code and it'll give you a list of nearby events that you can go to. For more targeted, specific points of contact, shoot me an email or a Facebook message. My email is hcarey@thephoenix.org. We also have a Facebook page just called The Phoenix NH, where we post monthly updates, weekly updates about new events and programs that we have offered.
And my question for you, Scott, is give us an update on your baseball program this summer. How's it going? Getting a lot of interest, getting some players involved?
Yeah, they've been great. I think last year, the whole team came. They were supporting this beautiful venue up at Hadlock, and the baseball was great. But the guys have really been behind this. They're really excited. Some have really mentioned like John Doobie is one of my catchers, and he's a psychology major at St. Joseph's College of Maine. So once he heard that we were doing it for the mental health, he actually had sent me a text like, that's awesome. And I've just got that kind of feedback. The guys are great. And we've already played 16 games. So I feel like we're a pretty cohesive unit, and it's great because we've had a lot of core guys back from last year. And actually this is our third year of existence. So that's nice. The continuity. There's going to be a lot of guys that played last year that will be involved with us again.
It's great.
I wanted to ask you guys, we'll get back to the three states event, but I just wanted to ask you guys a baseball question in general. I know you're fans, so what's your take so far? We're at the midpoint of the major league season on anything, the Red Sox or any team in general or the league in general?
Yeah, I think, I have paid attention. I know the Red Sox, I think they started out pretty lackluster, but I think they've been picking it up lately. I mean, the Yankees, I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the Yankees. I'm sort of old school. I actually kind of like the division winners just moving on, but this whole wild card thing, it's probably what the Red Sox will have a chance with, but you never know. I remember 1978, 14 back. Yankees, I don't know if that will ever happen again, but but there's been some cool stories. Like even recently, I think it's Mark Appel, who was a #1 draft pick. I forget what year it was, but he just made his debut as a 30-year-old, which was pretty amazing. He's somebody, and I like those stories. It sort of fits with the way I look at life as far as, resilience and just, he had to go through a lot. He had a lot of injuries, and I think he actually even left the game for a while, then came back. So that's such a cool story. It's been fun. I feel like this is the time of year that I'll start to do standings watching.
What about you, Hunter? Any favorites or anything about baseball that tweaks you?
I will be completely transparent. I played baseball for 25 years, all the way through college, and I've never really watched it. So I haven't watched any of the season. I couldn't tell you what the Red Sox record is or where they're in the standings. So I'm glad you had a perspective on that, because I certainly do not.
But you probably watched the Celtics in the playoffs, right?
Nope.
Okay. I thought maybe with the basketball injury, maybe you were moving toward that world.
Yeah. That's a good assumption, but same story. I love playing basketball, but never really watched it that much.
I don't know if you guys have been following it at all, but we have a local kid, Cody Morissette. He's out in Wisconsin right now playing for I guess it's a high A team for the Miami Dolphins. I always do this. The Miami Marlins, not to be confused with the Miami Dolphins with Hunter Long. And we keep tabs on him, and so far so good. I mean, that's a lot of pressure on any youngster who gets put in that position. You could say the same for Hunter Long with the Dolphins.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know Cody's story a little bit. I think talk about resilience. I believe I'm accurate when I say this. I know he had a recent 3-home run game, which at any level, that's amazing. But I believe he went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts the night before. So for him to refocus, reset, Cody, I mean, I know Cody a little bit. I know he's a great talent, but he's a strong mental kid and confidence. And you have to sort of put those type of games in the short-term memory bank. And tomorrow's a new day. That's the beauty of baseball, the repetition. And for him to have that kind of game after a struggling night, that says a lot about him, his character.
Well, I think another thing, I think his parents just happened to be at that game out in Ohio, the one he had the 3 home runs. They just happened to show up that night, so that was good. Usually it's home cooking. In this case, it was a homecoming. But one serious question, and I'll throw it to you, Hunter. Using sports as a reference point, when youngsters, and it could be male or female, they focus in on success, and a lot of times parents are guilty of pushing a little too hard. Do you see that causes some of the problems that you've had come up in with the Phoenix?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I've seen much of an overlap, but I will say just sports in generally. One of the things that I've always been grateful for, and I know a lot of other of my teammates, specifically with baseball, has been being able to deal with failure. And I've been going to my cousin has 3 little boys who are 6, 7, and 9, or 7, 8, and 10 maybe. But I've been going to their baseball games a lot, and they're at the age where kids start to weed themselves out fairly quickly if they can't deal with failure, specifically to baseball, because it's inevitable that you're gonna go up there and fail. So I guess that's one thing I've always been grateful for. Scott, you mentioned resiliency, being able to make adjustments, accept what you failed on, and improve a little bit. Generally, I think that's a great thing that sports can provide folks.
I've said it about any sport. I don't care what sport we're dealing with, is that if the participant isn't having fun,
right,
especially if they're getting a lot of outside pressure to succeed, I've seen it up close and personal, that, there's a time when a parent has to say, okay, time to back off and let the youngster have fun. Now, if they're not having fun,
Right.
you've lost the whole point of why they're there.
So Sherm, that is the piece you just touched on, is the connection to the work that we're doing with the Phoenix. So all of our events are community focused. We'll play pickup basketball. Sure, it's great if you show up and you win, but the main thing that folks are going for is the community. It's a sober community, whether we're doing basketball or a board game night or a book club. Community generally, I think I'm okay to say, has been on kind of a decline in the US and just in society generally the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So being a little bit more intentional about how folks can access different types of communities so that they're in a fun, supportive environment. I think you nailed it.
So let's get back to the event, Scott, on the 22nd, Hadlock Field in Portland,
Yep.
home of the Sea Dogs. Again, 4 to 5 o'clock. That's when the players will start showing up. At 5 to 6:30, that's the skills competition you were mentioning.
Yep.
And the game will get underway about 6:30, 7 o'clock, give or take.
Yeah, like Hunter has been great. We've looked at some timelines, and depending on the venue, sometimes like we're going to be able to utilize the lights at Hadlock. So I think we have a little bit more flexibility with that night. We have found that to turn on the lights, it costs more money, for a field rental.
Yeah,
So, but Hadlock's giving us a good deal, and but that sounds about right. We'll have one game, hopefully get 9 innings in.
And if everything works out the following week or real close to it, you'll be doing an event here in New Hampshire, in Manchester.
Yes.
Okay, then it'll basically follow the same program as far as the skills competition than the actual game, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, we may just have to adjust it a little bit based on time. I think we'll have more time at Hadlock overall. I think at Hadlock we're good for like 5 hours. I think 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's another maybe small adjustment from last year. So I have some like flyers, PR flyers, and we've been starting to distribute those. And there actually is a QR code on the flyer. Hunter is a little more tech savvy than I am. I don't even know how these QR codes work. It seems like magic to me when when I go to a restaurant and I can get the menu. But so we have that, and that's going to be built in. It's only $15, which definitely worth the price of admission, not more.
Okay, great.
And
so it's a little different.
Yeah, sure. I might also just add that we're getting a lot of outreach from potential sponsors, and one of the sponsor packages that we have is purchasing tickets on behalf of different communities. So we're primarily working with different sober homes in Portland and Manchester, treatment centers, different recovery communities, to let them know that we do have some tickets available if the $15 is too much.
Again, a contact point for you. You're the person that they'd want to contact if they want to help out with the cause?
Yes. Yeah. Carey at thephoenix.org. Carey is Carey. Or if you just go on Northeast Tide's baseball page as well.
Yeah, we're still very active with our social media platforms, Northeast Tide's baseball, Facebook, and Instagram.
You gentlemen, Scott and Hunter, should be commended for your organization, organizing, and participation, and also support for a great cause. And I know, again, July 22nd, Hadlock Field, home of the Portland Sea Dogs. That'll be one of the games. And then we'll be touching base on the second game in Manchester. And Scott Bleakley and Hunter Carey, we want you to have a great double dip. And we want to thank you for joining us today on the Seacoast Sports Forum.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you all so much. It's great meeting you.
All right. Remember, at the end of the program now, of course, the 2-minute drill. Sam, got anything for us today?
Basically, the 2-minute drill, Sherm, for me is about college football, with the announcement that USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten. It's just another domino to drop. First, we had the name, image, and likeness, And now we've got, or I should say, first we had the transfer portal. That opened up all kinds of unique things in college football. Then you had name, image, and likeness, which has created a whole new Wild West in football. And now with this bombshell of USC, UCLA moving to the Pac-10 after Oklahoma and Texas goes to the SEC. I don't know what's going to happen next. The next shoe to drop will probably be Notre Dame coming next. But, you know, you can predict right now by 2030, college football is not going to look like it does today.
Yeah. Money, 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 money. The OJ song.
Again, that's why the Notre Dame situation, Notre Dame's unique deal that they formed in the 90s with NBC when they had their own network. You know, that was the first college to have their own network.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
That ends in 2025.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
that's going to be a decision point. In 2023, Notre Dame has got to make a decision on what they're going to do. And so they'll go to the Big Ten.
You know, well, I was going to say one thing I've noticed, because there's so many platforms now. I mean, now you're getting baseball on Apple Plus, on Amazon, this and Prime and all that jazz. There's just so many places they're trying to stick football, baseball, basketball.
Well, you're right. You're right. I think, you know, if it eventually comes to 2 team leagues or something like that, if you take ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC, and with all their multiple platforms away from that, whether it be Peacock and CNBC or USA and TNT,
right?
You know, it's like the basketball tournament. You can show 5-6 games at a time concurrently on air. Yeah. So that's a big change than you know, a 2:30 window on a Saturday afternoon for NBC. You know, it's a big it's such a change. So, you know, TV is going to be happy. The colleges have to make TV happy, and if they do, they'll do whatever they have to do.
Well, yeah, it's like I just said a few seconds ago. Money, 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 money. Hey, my 2-minute drill. I just wanted to say thank you and happy retirement to the UNH athletic director Marty Scarano, who will be leaving the position at the end of the month, and congratulations to the new athletic director pro tem, and that is Dr. Allison Rich, and she'll be joining the Wildcats this season, and we're looking forward to maybe a press conference towards the end of the month or beginning of next month, and of course the Wildcat football season or Wildcat sports season will be getting underway, so we'll probably try to get our buddy Mike Murphy on board real soon, and congratulations to Mike. He's Grandpa Mike now.
Is he?
Oh, proud grandpa. His Facebook page is loaded up with pictures of the baby. So congratulations to Mike, Tish, and the family. So that about does it for us. And I guess we'll adjourn. On behalf of our special guest, Scott Bleakley, Hunter Carey, I'm Sherm Chester for Sam Bruno, inviting you to join us for our next edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum. You can listen to the Seacoast Sports Forum on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to watch the episodes of the Seacoast Sports Forum on our Seacoast Sports Forum YouTube page. And when you're there, hit the bell to subscribe and like us. And if you have any sports photos or game videos you'd like to send us or comments, seacoastsportsforum@yahoo.com. This is Sherm Chester inviting you to join us for the next edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum.